Lacey, how many crossover reviews have we done in the last, say, year or so? It seems like every single show we have another crossover.
Well, Zach, guess what? We've got another one. This one actually even sounds like a crossover. It's the brand new Honda Crosstour, and it's based on the very popular Honda Accord, but it'll give buyers that would normally get an Accord a little bit more utility.
The trend over the last couple of years is to produce four-door tall wagon-type crossovers with a coupe-like silhouette. It gives the utility buyers require with the style that stands out and looks slightly sporty.
Even though this Crosstour falls under the same name as the Accord, it shares no body panels with it at all. It's longer, taller, and has more of a flowing shape to it. It's definitely very unique. I have to be honest, when I first saw it, I wasn't too crazy about it, but it really has started to grow on me. The Crosstour is sold only as an EXL with a few variations. The base is an EXL front-wheel drive and starts at just over $34,000. Then there's the all-wheel drive at just over $38,000 and the all-wheel drive navigation trim level at just over $40,000. Regardless of the trim, they're all nicely finished with standard leather trim.
So why would somebody buy the Crosstour over the regular Accord sedan? Right here at the business end, because it is a hatchback. Now it is not power operated. And that's the problem, because the Venza, you can order a power liftgate, and once you've had one with a power liftgate, it's very handy to have. Now inside, a couple of things, one that's great and one not so great. First of all, underneath the floor here is a very deep and large cargo area. It's almost like a little mini trunk that goes underneath, and you can actually grab it and pull it out. The second thing that's not so great is this. It's a second cargo cover that's supposed to go up here, so when you close it, it covers everything in the back. But try and put it in and try and get it to stand. That's the problem. It kind of goes like this, and you try it, and then it falls out. So what you do with this is when you get the Crosstour, you take it out and you throw it in the corner of the garage and forget it ever came with the car. Due to the sloping hatch, the height in the cargo space is limited. These levers do lower the back seats, which is convenient. Now have a look at the space between the wheel arches. Not that impressive if you want to haul larger items. The Venza from Toyota definitely has the edge in the cargo department.
There's a fair bit of room back here. There's actually quite a bit of space for your legs and a fair bit of room for your head as well. But the door is a little bit higher, so the window's a little smaller, so there's less outward visibility than in the sedan. Since the Crosstour is only sold as an EXL, it's full of luxury and convenience. The leather seats are heated up front. The steering wheel has full adjustment and controls on the wheel for Bluetooth and radio. As mentioned, the navigation system's only available if you get the top model, which is limiting for buyers who only want front-wheel drive.
Well, so far this Crosstour has some unique styling and convenience features, but what did they do to make it different from the sedan? One of the biggest changes from the sedan is the fact that this Crosstour is only available with a V6 engine, no four-cylinder. And once again, comparing it to the Venza, they decided to offer a four-cylinder to help keep the price down and also to keep an eye on fuel consumption. The Crosstour is powered by a 3.5-liter V6 with 271 horsepower and 254 foot-pounds of torque. It uses 11.5 liters per 100 kilometers in the city and 7.2 on the highway when equipped with front-wheel drive. Now, probably the reason that Honda decided to just go with the V6 is because this vehicle is heavier than the sedan. So off the line, the V6 does a great job of getting this vehicle up and going. But it's taller, it's heavier, and they had to compensate by putting on bigger brakes. Even with the bigger brakes, the vehicle definitely feels heavy. You throw it into the corners and it feels a little bit more top-heavy. It still handles very well, but it is heavier and bigger than the sedan. Well, it's obvious that Honda is targeting a more affluent crowd with this. Can you say baby boomers? Who will get this vehicle. It's nicely equipped, it's got leather, it's stylish, and it's for people who don't need to use the cargo in the back seat all the time. Another vehicle that falls into that category is the Infiniti EX, but I would take this over the Infiniti because it's a little bit bigger and it has more creature comforts, especially for people in the back seat. If you're looking for just all-out utility, the Venza probably is a better choice. It's bigger, it's boxier, and it has more engine and trim levels to keep the price down and to be used by average families. This is more of a niche vehicle.
Since this Crosstour was built with well-heeled buyers in mind, I'm really surprised they didn't just include all-wheel drive as standard equipment. I think the $2,000 price difference will be well worth it, especially for Canadians that want to take this vehicle out to the cottage or for driving in winter. The transmission is a slick shifting automatic that's very responsive at all driving speeds, especially responsive off the line. I'm surprised that this is a 5-speed unit, when many of the manufacturers are including 6-speed units that offer more versatility and fuel savings. This Crosstour is very comfortable to drive, and it has noise-canceling technology, so the interior is incredibly quiet. The V6 is very smooth, and it's not at all buzzy like you'd get from a 4-cylinder. My only problem with driving the Crosstour is visibility. First of all, there's a bar going through the back window, so it makes seeing out the rearview mirror a little bit difficult. Because of the angled trunk, when you look over your left shoulder, it also creates a bit of a blind spot, makes it hard to park.
So Lacey, the real question is, does the Crosstour really have a hope in the ultra-busy crossover segment?
Well, Zach, this market is really full with a lot of crossover vehicles, and there are quite a few things that I do like about the Crosstour. It's very comfortable for everybody, not just the driver, but for all of the passengers. It's got a smooth, powerful V6 engine, and it's got some really cool, innovative storage ideas in the back for cargo. However, that brings me into my dislikes. Because of the sloping rear roof, you're actually kind of limited in the amount of cargo you can fit in the back. And I mentioned it before, but again, the slanting roof had a little bit of problems with outward visibility. What do you think?
Well, I agree with all of that. The number one thing for me, it's an Accord. The Accord is one of my favorite cars in the mid-size, or actually now full-size class. It's a beautiful driving car, and all the attributes you get with the Accord, you get in a slightly bigger Crosstour. The truth is, Lacey, this is an Accord wagon, but it's more stylish and it's more luxurious on the inside with standard equipment. And at the heart of this Accord is a beautiful and powerful V6 engine. Lacey touched on that. This new Crosstour isn't without a few negatives. Lacey touched on the shape of the cargo area, but it's not just the sloping rear hatch, it's also the space between the two wheel arches, which makes larger items in the back difficult to get in there. Plus that cargo cover thing, just take it out and put it in the garage. There's no 4-cylinder offered, which really is a limiting factor for mass appeal. That Venza has a 4-cylinder, and most people are going to buy the Venza are paying just for the 4-cylinder. They don't have to get the V6. And the other thing is, Lacey, a lot of manufacturers, the Chevy Malibu, for example, comes with a 6-speed automatic. This is just a 5-speed, and there's no shiftable option. Now, here's the real question from a woman's point of view. In my opinion, this is really an Accord wagon. But if they had marketed it as an Accord wagon, would you be interested in it?
Well, you know what, Zach? I mean, it is a fashionable, stylish, unique, functional type vehicle, and I don't think it's just a woman thing. There's a lot of people out there that don't want to be owning a wagon. So
but now you can get a Crosstour crossover. That makes it more palatable.
I think it does.
How do you build a crossover? Find out in our web-only segment at drivingtelevision.com.